Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Curious Kellen. As you can see, today I have my younger brother Blake with me. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. I have a YouTube channel of my own. It's called Blake's Jukebox. I do tons of music on there with my piano, guitar, all the instruments that I have. We play music together, and sometimes we like to be on each other's channels. So today, I'm on his.
Yeah, so if you want to look for that, you can get the link in the description.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if you're here, you're probably here from my brother's YouTube channel. But if you're not, go ahead and subscribe to his. That would be really helpful. But today, we are going to be going over 3 shows that we just, one of them we just finished watching, and we're going to be ranking them in different categories. So those shows are, Blake, why don't you tell us what the shows are?
Yeah, we've got Avatar: The Last Airbender, Star Wars: Forces of Evil, and Gravity Falls. And Avatar is one that's a lot of people know about. It's a very big show. Gravity Falls, same as well. A lot of people, we're very invested in that story. And Star Wars: Forces of Evil is also very popular. And so these are 3 very well-known animated shows.
I can't remember exactly, but I think like Star versus the Forces of Evil is like number 2 or number 3 for like Disney animated shows.
Yeah,
like,
it's up
very
there.
well
known.
known.
Gravity Falls and both of them, Gravity Falls and Star versus the Forces of Evil, are very
Disney
big shows. Yeah, very big Disney shows.
Yeah, so you can see behind me I have a pie show board for those of you who enjoy Avatar: The Last Airbender. My brother and I built that not too long ago.
He built it.
And we played a couple games of pie show. It was really fun. But like I said, we're going to be going over some rankings for these 3 shows. So
yeah,
why don't we take a look at what the categories are for our rankings?
Yeah, so basically we're taking into account everything, and then whenever one of these wins a category, we put it under the show. We put the category under the show too.
Yeah.
So basically the categories are story, characters, relationships, comedy, universe, which is like where they are in the story, what the whole thing is, built around, influence, which is like how it affects you, in your life and stuff, music, animation style, voice acting, and consistency, like how well does the plot follow, and is it rushed, or is it stuff
how does
like
everything flow with each other? Is it all good quality? Are there some episodes that aren't as great?
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to hop right into the very first one, which is story. So out of these 3, what are you kind of thinking right off the bat? Because
I honestly think that Avatar
has a really excellent story. I don't know exactly everything behind the scenes, but it seems like it was planned out from start to finish.
Yeah, especially with, there's like 4 different chapters in it.
4 different books.
Yeah, and I think they had planned where each one was going to land, so they really had to figure out how they're going to, pace their plot and stuff like that. So I think from the very beginning they were going to do 3 seasons, which is very...
That's a bold thing to do.
That's a big factor, like when it comes to plot, because a lot of Disney shows and stuff,
if you're just going season by season, it's hard.
Yeah, you get one season and you may get renewed for another one. But I think with Avatar, they knew everything they were going to do. So
I'd probably put Avatar's number 1, and then Star. So we do have to put a disclaimer here, because Blake and I just finished Star versus the Forces of Evil, so we're a little biased.
Yeah.
And real quick, I want to talk about why we're talking about these shows. Is that when we were, we've had a lot of time on our hands recently, and we wanted to go back and kind of rewatch these shows that were from our childhood, because we didn't see every single episode when it's just on TV. You may have skipped some stuff. We were too young to remember everything, so we wanted to go back and rewatch these shows. And with Star versus the Forces of Evil, we had gotten really invested back when it first was coming out. And then Blake went on a Broadway national tour with School of Rock, which was awesome.
And but during that time there was a season release that we missed.
Yeah, the final season 4.
And I had totally forgotten about it. And then when we went to go see it again, we were like, oh, there's one more season that I don't think we've seen before.
Yeah,
we had thought we'd seen the first 3, but it turns out we had not seen like half of season 3 and almost all of season 4. So
we wanted to get back into that one, and we, like I said, we just barely finished it a couple days ago. So yeah, we're a little bit biased, but we're gonna try and
try
put
our
that
best.
behind
Yeah.
us.
So, but I think with this one, I think we can say that story definitely goes to Avatar because it's very planned out, and
I would say Avatar, and then Star versus the Forces of Evil, and then Gravity Falls.
Yeah, because Gravity Falls doesn't necessarily have a story. Like it does, it has these plot points that it goes around, but it's more of
kind of like fun summer and do that kind of stuff. It doesn't go super far into the future, and
and not saying that it doesn't have a good story. It just doesn't have as much of like this plot.
The characters don't feel like they've changed as much. Like they've gone through this experience, but Dipper, is still Dipper at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, I think on this one we're gonna go Avatar, Star versus the Forces of Evil, and Gravity Falls. Okay, so the next category that we're going on to is characters. So this is kind of like, maybe there were some specific characters in the show that we really thought were awesome, or just kind of all the characters in general and their relationships with each other. Although relationships is another category, so this is more about which one had the best characters.
And this isn't about the design of the characters, because that comes later with animation style. So this is more of like, what is their overarching, what is their whole,
just kind of the concept of these characters. And some characters that come instantly to mind are Uncle Iroh. From Avatar. That's easy money. And then kind of mirroring Uncle Iroh is Glossaric in Star vs. the Forces of Evil. And then, I don't know, characters in Gravity Falls, you have people like Seuss.
I think probably the biggest character change and everything is with Grunkle Stan in Gravity Falls. He's kind of the Uncle Iroh or whatever, because he goes from being this one person to totally switching
change
everything.
Yeah. So I think there's some really good I don't know. It's kind of funny because it for me, I think I would rank it the exact same as we did with the story of like Uncle Iroh is absolutely Azula, Zuko, like the whole transition with Zuko and like how he changes as a person.
Yeah, because
is really, I think, spot on.
Because in Star vs. Forces of Evil, like a lot of people from Earth or whatever end up changing a lot at throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
But with Avatar, like I said, like the story is so good that every character's plot is planned out. So Zuko's like whole
transition,
is so good. And with Uncle Iroh's probably one of the best animated characters ever to exist.
For sure.
So I mean, the characters in Star vs. Forces of Evil are really powerful and they're really good, but like
I'm trying to think if there's like something that would change my mind from like Gravity Falls. But because I mean, there's Old Man McGucket, and there's kind of some interesting stuff about him. There's people like Pacifica, who kind of go from being this person who's really high in society to being someone who's more like our family history is kind of a lie, and she doesn't really want to be.
I gotta say that like the whole if one of the categories was like the total entertainment of like figuring stuff out on your own and all the conspiracies, and like Bill Cipher's character is really cool.
Oh, like, that's true. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about
his
Bill.
Whole like demeanor throughout the whole thing is really kind of creepy, but it's also really cool.
Interesting too. Yeah.
So, but the whole thing with Azula, especially at the end, Aang and Katara, like the whole.
Well, that's going to be in relationships.
I know, but Sokka's hilarious.
That's true.
And all
right. I think we can call this Avatar, Star, and then Gravity Falls. On this one. So the same as the story one.
Exactly
the same.
Okay, so after we just wrote those down, we just realized that he put story on Gravity Falls, which is not what we said at all. So we just switched it. So now we are on to the category of relationships, and this is
a tough one.
This is a tough one, but Gravity Falls is out of it, like, immediately. Yeah. There's nothing.
Gravity Falls definitely takes last because it doesn't have the same, like, whole, like, there's relationships between, like, the, Grunkle Stan and Dipper and Mabel and these kinds of relationships, but there's no like real romantic relationships that you're like wanting to happen the whole time.
There's nothing that's really like that in Gravity Falls, because I feel like the thing with Gravity Falls is it's got a ton of like adult humor that a lot of kids don't understand, but the story is for kids. Like it's really for younger kids and stuff. Whereas Star can be you can see story points from Star in like movies of today, that are really good and really stuff. Popular. So Gravity Falls is out of it, but it's tough between Avatar and Star.
Because oh my goodness, and I'm gonna make sure to put at the beginning of this video that there's gonna be some spoilers in this.
Yeah.
Because the whole relationship between Aang and Katara is like huge.
It's so good
throughout the whole thing, and you get to that final moment right at the very end where it's like.
Finally, peace, you get no like confirmation or peace throughout the entire thing that Aang and Katara are a thing, because you're like you want Aang to be happy, and you want Katara to be happy as well. So the whole time you're wanting them to be together, and they don't give you any satisfaction throughout the entire thing.
There's like a couple kisses, but it doesn't really add up till the very end.
But the thing is, with Star versus the Forces of Evil, from the very beginning, with the get-go of Marco and Star, is also very good.
Yeah.
Because they're such good friends and stuff, and it totally makes sense. Their plots are just so different.
The reason that I would put Star versus the Forces of Evil higher than Avatar is because Star is with Tom and Marco is with Jackie, so there's kind of more of this drama of like they like other people, but they still kind of have feelings for each other. So I like the complexity of that. I think kind of outwits the complexity of.
I think with how like you're saying, how complex and how really like they're really focused on it, because it's a really big part of the story.
Huge. Whereas like Katara doesn't hang out with anybody else really, and Aang doesn't really hang out with anybody else. It's really just those two throughout kind of the whole thing.
There's not a lot of like drama in Avatar, and I know we sound
in the sense of relationships.
There's a lot of drama, but I know we sound like 11-year-old girls right now. But like Star versus the Forces of Evil, you are so much happier. When I was so much happier with when Star and Marco finally get together than with like. Because I feel like with Katara and Aang, you kind of know it's always going to happen. And same with Star. There's more of like...
There's more of like, is it really?
Is it really
with Star?
There's a possibility that it wouldn't, because...
And in the final episode too, like there's a lot with the tapestry, and she doesn't see Marco on the tapestry, and she's like...
And you think they're not going to end up...
I think we can call this one Star, Avatar, Gravity Falls. Okay, that's it. Okay, so the next one we have is comedy. So this one kind of goes over the humor and the style of each of these. And I think Avatar is funny, and it can be kind of silly at times, like with Momo being weird and Aang, being on his I can't remember what it's called, but when he gets on the air ball,
Oh yeah.
What is that called?
I don't know.
It's like air cycling or something.
I don't know.
There's a name for it. I can't remember.
Appa can be funny too.
Yeah.
But I think Gravity Falls is definitely going to be in this one, because it's pretty funny. And the comedy in Avatar really hits hard because it doesn't happen a lot, but it's not a main focus of the show.
Yeah.
So I think it's mainly between Gravity Falls and Star versus the Forces of Evil.
Yeah, I think especially if you're looking at it more of like, what is the silliest? Like, because I think Avatar has some really great jokes in it, like some really written, more like witty and satirical type stuff, rather than like slapstick funny type things.
Because Star versus the Forces of Evil is just stupid sometimes.
It can be so silly.
Yeah, and the thing with Gravity Falls is it's silly, and it also has some really well-written jokes that, like, if your parent was walking by and they saw it, they'd laugh their heads off, because it's like, really
it's
funny
funny
stuff.
to everyone.
Yeah, and
but it's not like some random weird silly joke where somebody's getting punched through a wall.
Yeah. So, but Star versus the Forces of Evil is pretty funny.
It is pretty funny. There are some moments that Blake and I have been watching over again, and it's cracking us up.
There's some really hilarious stuff that's like, one of the funniest things is whenever Star summons Cloudy, that he just screams. Like, that's hilarious.
It's so weird and random, but it's funny every time.
I gotta say, Star is the most silly out of all of them.
I think definitely, for sure, the silliest stuff. I'm kind of leaning more towards Gravity Falls for this one. One, because we need it to win something, but also like it has the right mix. It has kind of those more like written jokes, but also has some of the more like slapstick funny things.
Yeah, it's really well written when it comes to comedy and stuff.
And I think some of the best memes have there's some really good Avatar memes, but like road safety laws prepare to be ignored. There's some really great memes out there from Gravity Falls.
I also think the best thing about Gravity Falls is its comedy is very relatable because it uses a lot of like fake brand names or whatever from like now, and it uses a lot of comedy that's like in your life, regularly. So it's really easy to laugh at. So yeah, I think
we're gonna go Gravity Falls, Star,
and then Avatar. Yep.
Okay,
so the next category is universe, which is like, where does this all take place, and what's kind of the setting? Yeah, and is the setting like some place that's so cool and awesome that you can like create whole new storylines out of it, and it works and stuff. And I'm immediately going like Gravity Falls, cool, but like not a really fantastical universe. It's more of like.
It's kind of more like in the woods, more interesting mystery style rather than like a bigger. There's nothing outside of Gravity Falls that really goes on in the show. Yeah, everything happens inside Gravity Falls.
But I think I really think that I'm immediately leaning towards Avatar.
Oh, really?
Because just the whole thing with the Fire Nation and everything, all the different factions with avatars and stuff is really cool, because when you think about it with Star, it's like you got royalty and Muni and Earth. You got these two places. Yeah. You got other things and stuff, and the whole thing with going to different dimensions is cool as well. But mostly it's focused on one person has magic. And then,
all right, so you make your case for Avatar. I'll make my case for Star, and we'll talk it out.
I think with Avatar, we've got some really awesome stuff with people knowing how to, do all these elements, and with
the bending is really cool. Like that's a really interesting concept.
Yeah, like that's something never seen before. Like magic has been seen before, and stuff.
Yeah,
but
and it's not magic in the show. No. It's like a different thing.
Different, and it's
based off of like the original elements of what people thought everything was made up of. Yeah, so I think that is a really cool interpretation of that.
I think I'm leaning towards Avatar. What do you think about Star?
The thing about Star is it's ginormous. Like,
that's true.
At the end, they do kind of close everything off, literally, but the different dimensions that they can travel to, and the different just worlds, and how you have Earth, you have Muni, you have Kelly's dimension where everything is made of hair, you have the Bounce Lounge, you have what other dimensions? There's the Never Zone. There's just so many different places in Star versus the Forces of Evil that I think are just give you a big enough area to really you could write anything, and it could be in the universe. You make a universe where everybody's made of pizza, and that's totally fine in this kind of thing. But if you were, Avatar is kind of stationary in that there's not going to be anything that happens outside of the world. Like, I just think for sheer size, I would say universe.
Yeah, but it's not always about size. Like, I still like Avatar. I think the whole premise of, like, bending, these people have these powers, there's no, like, in Avatar, there's different factions. There's, like, it's split up, and there's these really awesome things in each one, and they travel, from place to place, where they're spending each chapter in these different places, so we really get to see them. Because although the universe is really big, since it's that big, we don't see a lot of every dimension.
That's true.
So...
Yeah, but then when Earth and Muni get cleaved together at the very end, that is totally...
That's pretty cool.
Like, that's a whole different thing,
I'm still going with Avatar.
All right, we're gonna let Avatar win on this.
No, I think... But they're both... How about we do an Avastar on this one? An Avastar? And kind of give it both, because they're both really... Because the thing with the universes is they're all different. They're all super different. And,
Yeah.
Some of the stories and the, characters and stuff are similar in each one, but the universes are so different for each one.
All right, so I think tentatively we're going to give a 1/2 of the universe to Star and Avatar. And then if there's something later on where we kind of get a toss-up between the two again, we'll decide which one wins. Or maybe we'll do another 50/50. But for right now, we're going to go half goes to Star, half goes to Avatar.
So the next category is influence, and I can already feel that maybe you might be thinking different things. But I think I'm kind of leaning toward Avatar for this reason, because this is one of those where it could be heavily biased right now, because we just finished watching it. But the thing is, Avatar, the stuff that's in Avatar has stayed with me for quite a while. We've watched this a long time ago. And, not only the influence of, the story and the lessons and stuff, the absolute just amazing, feel of Avatar. I always
There's nothing like it.
I always think about how cool it is, Azula's, breakdown at the end. Her, that sticks with me all the time. The music,
Well, we're gonna get into
music. I know, but the battle scene. There's some cool music attached to that, but the battle scene... Oh, that's
true. They go right hand in hand.
I think about that all the time, and the writing in Avatar, is very inspirational, and whenever,
all the Uncle Iroh messages are really, applicable to life.
Everything, even from the, from the technical aspects of it, the story and stuff, you can take that in your own writing and be like, okay, what would Avatar do? And you could come up with a really awesome story. And also the influence of just like you said, Uncle Iroh is just epic. He teaches a bunch of awesome
really
things,
great life lessons.
And you see these characters go through all these experiences in their life that just changes them.
Yeah.
And I think when you watch that, it influences you and goes you see how people should act and stuff like that.
Now, I agree that right now is probably not the best time to be asking this question, because if you were to ask me right now and I were to just answer plainly, I would say Star versus the Force of Evil. Because we just finished.
And there's a star-shaped hole in our hearts.
It's literally the thing that's funny is we finished it and then it's been cloudy outside. And it's been cloudy for the past couple of days, so we've just kind of been sulking after
we're just
finishing
depressed
this.
because there's no
we're waiting for the sun to come out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put Star to the side on this one. I'm gonna make a quick case for Gravity Falls though. Because if you think about it, Gravity Falls came before everything. Gravity Falls started it for us. It was mystery. It was a fun story that we got really involved in.
We got really
we followed that to So in some of these other ones, in Avatar and Star, we said that we didn't see all the episodes because they were on TV at different times, and we just kind of
Gravity Falls was in that.
Gravity Falls we watched. We made sure that we saw every single episode.
We saw the last episodes when they were coming out.
Exactly.
And I think,
exactly.
I have to reconsider this because Gravity Falls, it made a imprint on us when we were kids. We loved Gravity Falls. It was
the number one
thing. Because we were following, we knew when season 2 was coming out. We were watching for that, and the whole thing with the portal, every time I watch that scene I get the chills, I know. It's so good. And Grunkle Stan reaching out, and he's like, you gotta trust me, to not hit the button.
Yeah.
And Mabel's like, I trust you. So good. Now that I think about it,
I think we have to go with Gravity Falls.
It's gotta be Gravity Falls.
It's the first one. It's like what started it all. You know, you have to give credit to like the trailblazer. So I think we go Gravity Falls on this.
It has to be.
And then I think I would put Star in second right now on influence, just because of the way I'm feeling right now. I feel like we give Gravity Falls its credit. And I'm gonna take my own selfish desires and go after them on this one.
But I think the thing with Star that's gonna really stick with me is how good they did the whole relationship with Marco and Star, and like the whole, you know, that we all gotta find our star. You know, that's such a good, you know,
gotta find your Marco, gotta find your star.
Yeah. So, but I still think with Avatar, there's
some people need to find their jam.
Yeah. Some people, yeah. But I think like it really, I feel like Avatar has so many other things that I think about and that have stuck with me for since I've watched it. So I don't know. We can do another tie for second on this one, but I think Avatar is second.
I think the thing that matters most is that Gravity Falls is number one. So I say we give it a tie on Star.
Okay, and we can do that.
Avatar. So Gravity Falls number one on influence. Okay, so the next category is music, and we were just talking. We think it's going to be a little bit difficult to do.
It's always hard to, you know, think about the music of shows, especially if you haven't seen them in a while, because you're not really listening to them, but you realize scenes without music are so empty, you know, or they can be really powerful, you know, if they're placed in the right way. But you realize that the music has such a big, you know, point on it. And I think first we should just take a look at intros.
I was gonna say the same thing. First thing, want to get out of the way. I think Gravity Falls best.
Gravity Falls best intro. One of the best.
It's iconic. It's classic.
It's honestly one of the best intros I've ever heard on a TV show, because I mean, never mind. I'll talk about that in a sec, just about Avatar. But I think Gravity Falls, like, everyone wants to know how to play Gravity Falls on piano.
That's so true.
If you can play Gravity Falls, everyone knows it. You know.
Yeah.
If you start naming names of characters, maybe not everyone's gonna remember them.
But like everybody knows the soundtrack.
Everyone
or the theme song. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At some point on Disney XD, even if they're just passing it, they heard the intro. Like, it was there, and the whole beat of it, the whole, like, all the music instruments used in it and stuff, like, hands down best intro out of all three of them.
Yeah, and I would say probably Star next. Like, if we're
Avatar
talking
doesn't have
just purely music, Star is next. Because Avatar does have some music, but it's not really important for the intro.
But they're
oh yeah, at the very end.
Yeah, in every like credits.
That's so true. That's one of the best ones.
That's such a beat. We would always leave it on at the end because it's
usually you skip the end card, but like. With Avatar, we watched it every single time.
And also with Star's got a really good end card.
I
can't remember Gravity Falls having a...
I don't remember if they had anything specific. I think it's maybe just kind of an alteration of the original theme.
Yeah, but because Star has like a theme or whatever at the end, but...
Well, there's two different ones. There's I think Earth, and then there's the other one.
Yeah.
So, I think... where I'm leaning towards is Star. If you look up the soundtrack for Star versus the Forces of Evil on YouTube, there's some really good stuff out there.
Yeah.
But Avatar, it's so well composed. It's so moving. Every time I listen to it, I can see what's happening.
It's one because I think, I don't know if this is real. Anyone who wants to destroy me can do it in the comments, but. I think Avatar, at least for some songs, used a real orchestra, just based on how it sounds. I'd have to listen to it again.
Well, we can look it up, actually.
Oh, yeah, but I will say before I look it up, the music in the scene with Zuko and Azula...
I was going to jump back to that.
Oh, my gosh.
That's absolutely
so good.
Fantastic.
Just listening to it, I get the chills. Like, it's It's so perfect for what it is.
It's absolutely fantastic.
It's you know, it's kind of last time you see Azula. It's this big, you know.
It's super emotional.
To think that this is the biggest moment, one of the biggest moments in the entire thing, and it has the smallest music. You know, like this very quiet. It's like,
theme.
Oh my goodness, I'm getting chills thinking about it.
I know, I literally am.
Like there's just, I think there's like just a couple violins and a cello just in it.
Yeah.
And it's so geniusly put in there that it's just perfect. Like that's one of the best like music oriented scenes in the whole thing. I'm gonna look it up.
Let's look that up. Okay,
so we just looked it up, and it looks like it's a thing called the Track Team.
This is from a quick, fast Google search. So this is not actually researched here.
But I don't. Yeah, it looks.
It seems as though it's not a live.
And a lot of things now use synths because the cost of an orchestra, like Disney at Disneyland does not even use an orchestra for their live shows and musicals that they put on because it's that expensive. Like they could afford it, but it's so expensive they would have to actually like be like, okay, where are we gonna like take out money? You know, so I can see, but you realize how good synths are nowadays that they can make such great music. So
I think we're going Avatar on this one.
Definitely.
And then I would maybe Star second because it's got like it has really consistent music. Like I can't, but I mean, Gravity Falls has really good stuff.
I say too. Avatar, Gravity Falls, Star.
Okay, let's go with that.
Okay. So the next category is animation style. So this is literally like no story.
Based on story. This is just animation style, the way it's drawn.
And the thing that's going to be a bit hard about this is Gravity Falls and Star
are pretty close.
They're
like Avatar is definitely different.
Almost the exact same. Like basically, if you took Windy from Gravity Falls, that's everyone in, you know, Star versus the Forces of Evil. It's basically like Gravity Falls, but with longer legs, you know, bigger people. So
that's true.
That's true. And Avatar is very much, you know, the anime style.
Yeah, it's closer to that.
So it's just basically which style do we like more?
I don't know. I'm not really vibing so much with Avatar as much. I think it's a cool style, but yeah, I mean, because you get a lot more vivid colors, I feel like, with both Gravity Falls and Avatar, because I think most of Avatar is like hand drawn instead of like generated, if I remember correctly.
Avatar is very like,
I feel like just the colors are a little more subdued, except like one of the moments, like hats off to the animators that I love, was when they go to the sun people and the two dragons with Aang and Zuko.
I forgot about
that big pillar of fire.
That's such
so
a good
beautiful
scene.
And then you take that and you look at like when Star and Tom dance at that
pretty
one
cool.
dance, and it's like the same thing. There's butterflies and flames like twirling around them as they dance. So
I think Star vs. the Force of Evil, like I can't believe how much I run that like whole thing. Star vs. the Force of Evil. But I think with them,
such a long name.
They're definitely the most colorful out of all of them. For sure. And Gravity Falls and Avatar are more, you know, subdued colors, because the thing with Avatar that really pops out is their story. You know, it's not necessarily, they're not trying to be all these.
They're not trying to get, you know, be bright and loud. They're just like, trying to be more like.
And we're really just like, this is a hard one because they're both good. Like, there's nothing wrong with, you know, anime style. Like, it looks, you know, more realistic and stuff. But I think when you have something like Star, your story can be, you know, more fantastical, because you can like stretch their faces and do weird things because they're not, you know, real. So
I think I like the animation style of like season 2 and onward of Star versus the Forces of Evil. Because season one was done with a different animation studio, and you can definitely tell if you look at the differences between them. And I really like the animation style in season 2. So I would say Star versus the Forces of Evil.
I'd say Star wins this one because of like the colors are great, and you know the characters they can make from, you know, not having limits on their animation is really awesome. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah, and there's a lot of different things, like Gravity Falls has interesting creatures and monsters and stuff.
So, but I think because Gravity Falls and since Avatar's so different in this category, I think we can put Gravity Falls and Avatar as a tie.
Well, I would just go Star, Gravity Falls, Avatar on this one. Because
okay,
we have
enough ties. Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
Okay,
that's all right.
Star, Gravity Falls, and then Avatar. Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about is voice acting and the characters through their voices.
Yeah, and the first thing I want to say is one of the biggest things is Uncle Iroh and Glossaryck. Both of their voices changed. And Uncle Iroh, his voice changed because the actor passed away. Right? And then there's complications with Star versus the Force.
Who was playing Glossaryck, and so they had to get a new
they had to get a new person.
Disney didn't want the old character reasons.
But I think we'll just focus on, those first voices for both of those. Because I would say they're the best.
Glossaryck's original voice and Iroh's original voice are really, really well done.
And I think I really think it's hilarious in Gravity Falls how Dipper's voice cracks all the time.
Yeah, that is funny.
I gotta say, thinking about the actors themselves, Alex Hirsch, he does so many voices for so many Disney shows.
Yeah,
and he's incredible at it. He does Grunkle Stan, he does a lot of filler characters and some other.
Does he do Bill Cipher too? I thought he did.
Yeah,
Bill
and
Cipher
I think he does Old Man McGucket as well.
Yeah, there's a lot, and the same voice for Old Man McGucket is in Star.
Yeah,
and it's like a very similar character.
Yeah, so I think, and with Star, it's also hilarious when Marco's voice cracks, and you can tell all the difference in the characters' voices. They each have their own personality, and with Avatar, really good as well. There's no problems with mics or anything.
Yeah, there's nothing that really stands out to me with Avatar voice acting wise. I think it's pretty much it's good.
Yeah,
it's good. There's not, but I feel like because the thing with Avatar is it's a little bit more realistic. Sure, it's in this kind of more fantastic world, but it's very much the dialogue is realistic. The voices are pretty realistic. But there's no crazy.
I have to say though, the emotion in their voices can feel so real, especially when the characters look so real and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'm kind of more leaning towards Gravity Falls on this one, only because all of their voice actors were consistent throughout the whole show, and there wasn't there weren't any voice switches with Star and Avatar.
And the thing is, maybe I can't recognize every voice from Avatar, and in the amount of time that it's been since Avatar, if I did that same thing with Star, I may not be able to recognize all the voices. I might get Tom and some other person
main voices.
Yeah. But with Gravity Falls, you could do anyone.
Yeah,
and
Old Man McGucket.
Yeah,
Grunkle Stan.
Grenda.
Grenda.
Everyone, everyone.
Pacifica Northwest. Dipper,
Wendy.
Mabel, Wendy, everyone. Robbie.
Robbie. You can tell every single
Bill
voice
Cipher.
from there.
You can. It's. The only thing I want to mention is in Star when they do Mina's voice when she gets all big and scary.
Yeah.
Is kind of a cool effect. They do that for a lot of things, but I liked what they did with that. But I think this one goes Gravity Falls and then Star and then Avatar.
I think
because I think really what it is between Star and Avatar is we have to decide if we like Glossaryck's voice better or if we like Uncle Iroh's voice better.
I was fine with Uncle Iroh's voice, and I you got used to Uncle Iroh and you got used to Glossaryck, both of them.
Yeah, after the voices changed.
And I think Glossaryck still stayed pretty wise, and Uncle Iroh. But the thing is with Uncle Iroh, for some reason his voice just got higher or something. I feel like
his original voice was a lot better.
I feel like his second voice wasn't as wise. I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't seem as aged, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Gravity Falls, Star, and then Avatar.
Okay, that's what we're doing.
Moving on, we have consistency, which is how well do all the characters fare throughout the whole thing.
It encapsulates a lot. So kind of, and does the animation style stay the same? Does the plot stay the same? Does the do the voices stay the same? Do does the quality of the episodes stay the same?
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm going to do right off the bat is I think Star is off the table on this one, because there's so many, the animation style really did have a noticeable change between season 1 and season 4. Like, you can tell that there's a difference.
Yeah, and also, like, there's a lot of filler episodes. Like, especially
episodes
in the beginning.
And I was watching a video they were talking about this, and they were saying it was fun to do those videos, those episodes, and I can totally understand that. When you're in an animation studio, especially, and you get to do something, silly about a ghost that comes in and eats people.
Yeah, and when you're in your first season, you're just making episodes, to test the waters and things like that.
Yeah,
and
she can't solve a math problem because all the other universe. So there's some kind of just wonky, weird stuff in Star that it doesn't contribute to the overall arc, and that's just because of the way that they planned it out. It wasn't necessarily that was their plan, as they wanted everything to be like the arc, and they didn't deliver. It's just, some of their episodes are more kind of just standalone.
And a lot of the things that people say are that season 4 went a little fast, which is not great for consistency. I personally think that it was okay. I thought it was good.
There's some things that could happen that I'd like to see. Like, I'd definitely like to see Star and Marco's life as a couple more
on Earthny or whatever.
Moving forward with that instead of having the relationship come right at the end and then it's done. But I was more just happy that it actually happened.
Yeah, but it would have been really fun to, because what I thought was going to happen is they were going to, Tom was going to break up with Star or whatever, and they would be together at the end of season 3. Then we'd have season 4, because throughout season 1 through season 3, we see all the looks between them and all the,
the stolen glances.
And so I really wish they would have done it at the end of season 3, because we would have gotten to see more. But
I think Star's off the table.
Star's off the table, but with Avatar, super consistent, and with Gravity Falls
is pretty consistent.
Like,
too.
The thing with Gravity Falls and Avatar is Alex Hirsch knew that he was gonna where he was gonna end it, how he was gonna end it, that they were gonna go back home. That because summer vacation, it ends and stuff. Yeah, sounds like another show.
Yeah, it is a verb.
Yeah, but I gotta say with Avatar, characters.
I feel like there is no. Well, I might be wrong.
Yeah,
there is no episode that I remember that was filler, like a filler episode.
There's like a couple,
there's
I know
ones that are funny and silly.
The thing is, the one where they're going through the cave or whatever, secret tunnel. Episode. You think, oh, that's so filler, but that's a time when that's
important
because
there's relationships.
Remember when they don't they kiss in that episode?
I don't think there's some speculation because it's in the dark. And then the crystals glow. Yeah. And that's just because it's dark. So we
don't know, but it advances the plot, and there's nothing. And every episode has a consequence. Sometimes with animated shows, something crazy will happen.
Somebody will die. Somebody will get their arm chopped off, and then in the next episode, I keep saying video. Next episode,
they're fine.
It's just
and I don't think anyone's dying or getting their arms cut off in Disney shows, but.
Marco got a monster.
But close. if they're disappearing into another land or whatever, and then all of a sudden they come back the next episode, they're just back. That's inconsequential. There's nothing happening. But with every Avatar episode, everything happens for a reason.
So I say on this one we go Avatar, Gravity Falls, and then Star versus the Forces of Evil.
Perfect.
Okay, so the next thing that we want to talk about is the intros. So we talked a little bit about the theme music for the intros, and this is a little bit more of a bonus category.
Yeah, this isn't very consequential.
It's kind of a smaller thing, but kind of just more based off the intro itself. And Gravity Falls is a classic. Mm-hmm. So the thing that I want to look at is both Star and Gravity Falls change. They both change their intros in one of their seasons. Mm-hmm. And Avatar stays the same, as far as I know, throughout the whole thing. It's just the same.
Yeah.
But it's really cool.
But I think, because that's the thing. With Avatar, you get a very, cool
quick
intro
synopsis,
that tells you everything you need to know. that intro gets you ready for the entire thing in 40 seconds.
You know what's happening. You know, like, where is the story?
Yeah.
Why is this happening? You know, if you were to sit down for the very first time and watch it, you know what's happening.
I'd say if, like, we're talking about explanation, the intro getting you ready for stuff, Gravity Falls is last. There's no lyrics. There's nothing in there or anything.
To really...
Star is next. It doesn't give you any, like, story or anything, but it says...
It does kind of set you up.
It's like, it's going to get weird and all this stuff, but Avatar tells you, like, this is what happened with the Fire Nation, you know.
Yeah.
Everything
here's all the different elements. This is what an Avatar is. So it's like... I think the intro for Avatar is really well done in the sense of, like, it shows you everything. It gets you ready to go. And Star is pretty good too because
it's so dynamic. It goes everywhere.
You can really rock out to it, you know, because you're getting all these different pictures of who they're going through portals. They're at school, then they're in the underworld with Tom. They're fighting Ludo. There's just so many different places that they go, and it's just really like a fun intro, and it gets you ready. You're like, I'm sitting down to watch this show. Yeah. Here we go.
I mean, the first time you're watching it, because every time after, like, you watch a show for like 3 episodes,
you skip
the intro
button.
But I also think with Gravity Falls, they did a really good job when they switched it to the Weird Mageddon.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Like, it freaked me out to see the waterfall upside down. Like,
and then
that
the water tower stands up and like a tongue comes out.
And the lumberjack walking around and like the whole all the music's so dissonant. Like
if you look in the intro, there's so many special things in the intro because like you see the Sasquatch like flash for just a half a frame, and then at the very end you see like this document that has a ring and a question mark. I think it's a question mark in the middle, or no, it's Bill's cipher in the middle. I don't remember, but it has all these symbols surrounding it, and I think there's the backwards message right at the very beginning.
I honestly think it might have to go to Gravity Falls because of how awesome the music is, and it's also dynamic like Star. You get so many different scenes. You get, you know, even with the Weird Mageddon and stuff, you get to see, you know, Bill Cipher's castle and stuff. Yeah. But like, because, I mean, Avatar's gotten everything.
I think so. So we're going to put Star last. It's a great intro.
Star
super
last?
Fun. Yeah.
I was just saying Avatar's getting a lot of stuff. So I don't think... But I think... Oh, but it's so good. It's such a good...
between Gravity Falls and Avatar.
Because... But the problem is it's hard to rank them because they're two different...
They're very different from each other.
They're not like... You know, you can't rock out to the...
Avatar
intro music, you know.
But Gravity Falls, when that thing's on, you're like, oh yeah, this is happening.
And I just think the intro to Gravity Falls is very fun, you know.
I think it's fun,
switching his, you know,
and because it changes, it's not stale, you know.
But the thing is, it changes, but it's stayed consistent for the entire thing. So when it does change, whoa,
it's like, whoa, this is cool.
Yeah,
I think we'd go Gravity Falls, Avatar, and then Star, because Avatar, like we said, has a great explanation. Like, it is really good for that reason. And then Gravity Falls, it's just fun.
I don't even think Avatar is behind Gravity Falls, and I don't think it's ahead of it either.
Do we want to put them on a tie on this one?
I'm going to put them on a tie on this one.
Okay, tie between Gravity Falls and Avatar, and then Star coming in last.
So the last thing we want to do is, before we talk about which one is the best show out of all of them, we want to talk about some things about the show that just they're the honorable mentions, and they just set the show apart from everything, which makes them hard to rank.
Categorize.
And the thing with Gravity Falls is all the conspiracies and the ways for the audience to enjoy it.
Yeah, so unique.
And like, how many people there are? Thousands of theory videos out on Gravity Falls.
There's so many.
Like, they look at everything, every picture, everything released by, you know, Alex Hirsch.
And the difference between Gravity Falls and something like Star, which there's a lot of, or even Avatar, which there are a lot of theories for, of like, this is, you know, who is this, and theories like that. With Gravity Falls, it's built into the show.
The show wants you to do these things. Like you could watch the whole show without...
If you watch all the shorts and you get those like messages that flash at the very end, and there's 6 of them, and then you put them all together.
Everything,
like, that's such a totally
matters.
Crazy thing.
Like the whole cipher and the whole like everything in the intro matters. The entire mystery with what Stan's doing when he gets all 3 books. Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
like
the thing is that, you know, there's some cool pages where, you know, there's cool drawings and stuff, but it's none of that is like just done. It's not just art. It's like there's reasons for why something is written. There's reasons for why this weird object seems out of place. It's not just that it's out of place. There's a reason for that. And sometimes it's apparent, you know, later on in the episode, and sometimes you have to do some more digging to really figure out why that is.
Where's Stan's tattoo? Where did it come from?
And what does it mean? Like, well, actually, we did figure that out.
Well, you figure it out, but it takes so long, and like just the amount of things you can try and figure out on your own, you know, and how rewarding it is when they turn out to be true. Like you can...
It's kind of like a cereal box.
Yeah.
You have the cereal inside, but you know, sometimes you get a game on the back, and this is a really good game. You know?
And like, you can get lost in all the videos and stuff.
You could watch for days.
Even now. Like, I haven't seen the show.
The show's over.
Yeah, it's been a while. You could
just watch it.
You could just watch so many theories that, like, even ones that don't end up becoming real in the show, because they just couldn't fit them all in there. Because there's so many things. So I think with Gravity Falls, they've got so many, you know, awesome conspiracies.
Really great, interesting theories and conspiracies, and a way for the audience to join in on this. So the next honorable mention that we want to talk about is for Avatar. And the thing with Avatar that makes it kind of unique is its kind of play on Asian culture and kind of like the ancient Chinese history and ancient Asian history. And, you know, they have the I think it's traditional Chinese characters in the show.
Yeah, I think so.
I think they use legitimate traditional Chinese characters in the show, or they might be making up some of their own stuff. But just the way that they incorporate Asian culture without making it like this is an Asian culture movie. You know, it's just part of the show. And I think, you know, a lot of the shows in our current age is missing some of that, you know, is missing kind of that perspective. And so I think just the way Avatar did that and made it that it was kind of placed in Asia, even though it's its own universe, it was kind of in Asia, but that's not that wasn't ever, you know, talked about in the show. It's it's just the setting. The whole,
like, the scenes where like where Aang learns to fight, you know, with swords and stuff with that one guy, or the Fire Nation costumes are incredible. Like you said, the whole thing with the dragons, you know, that dragons are a very big part of, you know, Asian culture and Chinese culture. Yeah, so
like I think the Fire Nation armor is kind of like reminiscent of samurai stuff. So I think it's just really cool how they incorporate all that in there without making it feel
like it's forced on you. Like it's just
the way that the show is. And like I said, I think there could be a lot more of that in the future.
So the last honorable mention is the most unexpected ending, which definitely goes to
Starverse is the Forces of Evil.
It's so different from every ending. Like, it's not, and if you still haven't heard about the spoiler warning, if you haven't seen the end, do not watch this, because it's not like your regular Star faces off against the evil person and then they die and then wins, you know, it's so different.
It's so interesting the way that it ends.
The feeling of it's the end of an age. It's not the end of, you know,
it's not the end of the story.
Yeah.
It's the end of like an entire concept that you've been okay with for the entire show, and now all of a sudden that's just gone.
Like when she says like, I need to destroy the magic, you're like, no, she's not going to do that. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, somebody's going to stop her.
But as it keeps going on, you're like, this is the only way. You know, this is how it's going to work, or else everyone's gonna die or whatever.
And this just for perspective, this is coming right after Star and Marco say that they love each other.
Yeah.
Like, this is coming right after this.
So,
and
yeah.
there's the whole thing where she goes inside Glossoric's eye, and there's her tapestry there, and Marco isn't in it. And so it's this really, like, weird feeling, because you're thinking, okay, Marco's going to be gone out of the question, and there's all the portals are closing, and Marco has to go back to Earth, and Star has to go back to Muni,
because he has to be with his family. Like, he has to, and the whole thing of it being the good guy doesn't get away with everything unscathed. Like, she has to sacrifice basically everything, with Marco and magic, just kind of going away.
And when she decides, like, okay, I want to be with Marco on Earth, it's just like, what? And you're thinking, okay, there's a choice that has to be made. That's the whole thing that they're trying to, like, put in this episode, is it's either Earth or it's Muni, and they have to decide, either they go together to one of the other, or they have to split their own ways. And so when they both decide to come back to each other, but the portals are closed, and you think, like, they're going to die with each other, what's going to happen? And then, like, as the final thing, the two worlds get cleaved together.
Yeah, and then at that point you think, like, oh, all of what Glossoric was doing makes sense. Like, when he was talking about in this towel scene where he's like, this towel can be cleaved from my body, or it can be cleaved to it. So then you realize, because the episode's called Cleaved, and you're like, what is, you don't really pay attention to it. And it's that's not what you think is going to happen with the end.
No, you think there's going to be a choice that has to be made. But when the two worlds come together, I was telling Blake, it's literally the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Because you're getting Earth, you're getting Muni, and you're getting them to be together.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if they just went their own ways, they would never be able to see each other again, and that would be not a great way to end the whole thing. Good.
So I think basically, Gravity Falls has really awesome stuff for the audience to do, really brings them in. Avatar has some really awesome Asian culture with everything, all the aspects of their show, and Star has the craziest ending ever that you weren't expecting, literally at all.
Yeah, and one thing I do have to add here is, when Blake and I were watching, we thought that we had one more episode after the final episode.
I had totally thought we have 22 episodes.
22 episodes in the season.
So
there's only 21.
We're just watching it like, okay, we got one more. I'm going to be prepared for this next one, and then
because the next episode is going to be the last episode. But then it totally caught us off guard, because it was the last one, and you're realizing, wait, this is the end. There's not another episode. There can't be another episode after this. So, like, that's also a part of it. Is it just, we were going in thinking this is the second to last episode, and then there we are sitting there realizing, oh my gosh, this is it.
It was not good to realize that. And again, something else that we didn't think about that's also unexpected is just the magical high commission's dead. Like, that, like, like, that's so ominous.
Oh, and Glossoric at the very end, Glossoric going down with his ship, and we've been talking, was it the power of Marco and Star?
Yeah, like, what happened to cleave them together, so...
Or was it Glossoric's, like, last gift to them? Did he harness their power of their love to do that?
So it has a lot of loose ends, that you can figure it out, so it is a crazy ending.
So... Every one of these shows is unique, and we wanted to just point out a couple things that make each of them unique.
Okay, so the last thing that we need to talk about from all of this is which one is the best out of all of them.
Yes.
Out of these three, there are tons of other shows out there.
Yeah, and there's other shows that aren't animated, like The Office and Friends, and we've watched those shows, but like
they're incredible.
They are, and Parks and Rec. I watched a little bit of Parks and Rec, but like, these shows have just been really awesome because of the fact that we watched them when we were so much younger.
Yeah,
is they've really made kind of like an imprint on our lives. So this is more based off of our own opinion. Like, we're not actually going like this is the best show.
We're picking these ones because they're just the ones that we watched when we were younger.
Yeah,
you know, and we either watched them all again or like finished them recently, so that we could be like, okay, what is it like from, you know, our point of view now?
Yeah,
you know, and stuff like that. So
this is the big
thing,
the big one.
But I think if you look at it, just, you know,
yeah, if
on
you look
pen and
on
paper,
the board,
Avatar has the most. You know,
yeah.
even not including the extra things, Avatar has the most. They're all great shows and stuff, and that's why it's so hard to pick a good one, because they're all so different.
Yeah, because you look at that and you think, well, our obvious choice would be Avatar, but it's just so hard to choose.
But because Avatar is so good when you're like young. It's got so many cool things.
Exactly what you need.
Avatar is good at any age, and
Yeah.
Star is perfect for the age that we're at right now.
And the age when we started it.
Yeah.
I was about the age of the characters when it first started.
So you got all
out.
the, you know, relationships, you know, of like, you know, being awkward around your crush and stuff like that, which is perfect for the age range we are at right now. But I'm saying right now that the best show is Avatar.
That's what you're going with?
I'm going with Avatar.
So
I have to.
My feeling right now is that I think Gravity Falls falls a little bit short. There wasn't enough. There's 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It was really influential when we were younger, but I don't feel like it changed me. You know, I feel like I'm still the same person after watching it. But after watching Avatar and after watching Star, I feel like, whoa, I see the world differently now. So I would say, and like I said, this is biased because we just finished it. I would say my feeling right now is Star versus the Forces of Evil.
If we're going feeling right now, it's definitely Star, because we just finished it, and it's like,
it's still fresh. It's still still remember everything, and I think just the way the story is written, it's such a brilliant story, and it's really relatable, you know, because they fight, you know, these big battles, but they're not fighting a war like they are in Avatar. Like, they are fighting a war against the Fire Nation, and it's not as relatable to people our age because you know, people our age aren't really fighting an actual war. But like with Star versus the Forces of Evil, it's through this lens of kind of like this fantastical world, but it's everything at the base is everything that, you know, you go through at that age.
Because I'm looking in the perspective of like a lot of different people, you know, from all age groups. Avatar is the one to go to.
I would probably agree with that.
You know, like that, because right now it's like Star's the best show. You know, because right now
that's what it feels like.
But later, Star's not going to have the same effect on me. Like, it's just not, you know.
Although it might. It
might, but like and Avatar's not going to have the same effect either. But I think it would have a more, you know, effective thing, because it's really a big plot point with Star is it's these people, you know, in, you know, 9th grade or whatever, 8th grade or something.
I think they're in high school. So
they're in high school, just the beginning of high school, you know, trying to figure out their lives and stuff. And once you get past that phase, it might not be as, you know, powerful to you as anymore.
That's true.
Whereas Avatar it's a whole different world, and it's for everyone, you know, for a lot of people. So
I think I'm going to agree with that. I think right now, for both of us, it's Star versus the Forces of Evil. But in a, you know, a week, a month, a year type deal, we're looking more at Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Yeah, because when you look at, like, you know, Ludo was this inconsequential villain, you know, kind of, who's like, it's very silly and stuff at the beginning. And then, you know, 2, 3, 4 on those seasons, it really gets into a story where it's really
there's a different evil that they're fighting against.
Yeah, and it really, you know, gets to you, whereas Avatar, whole thing is influential, you know, so... So I've got to say, best show is Avatar, but the feeling, like, right now, is that the best show is Star. But, you know, later on in time, Avatar.
So Avatar: The Last Airbender is
The best show.
Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you go out and actually watch some of these shows. If you're a little bit younger, more kind of Blake and I's age, I would highly recommend starting with Star vs. the Forces of Evil and Gravity Falls.
Mm-hmm.
If you're maybe a little bit older, kind of young adult or even adult, Avatar is, right down your alley. It has a lot of really important and profound kind of life lessons in Avatar for older people to enjoy.
Because even though these are for like 7-year-olds, like
exactly.
7-year-old, they literally are advertised as like for 7
kids,
years old,
for kids.
But the older you are, the more you can
appreciate and understand things.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are some recommendations if you're actually looking at getting out there and watching some of these videos. I keep saying videos, watching some of these shows. And then, of course, if you're watching this from Blake's channel, then please come on over to mine. Come say hi. Come subscribe. Give this video a like.
Likes really help.
Yeah.
So give it a like.
They do. So, we're two brothers just hanging out. We're trying to make a couple more videos where we're on each other's channels like this. So, again, thank you everyone for watching. Stay curious, and I will see you in the next video.
See ya. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one, baby. Okay.